Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee Talk with Soy, your new morning show where real talk happens every Saturday at 10 a.m. It's your girl Soy bringing you stimulating conversation to the Brew Nation. It's always a joyous occasion here in the cafe. Think on it, drink on it, let's talk now. If soy means I am, therefore you are bold, beautiful, intelligent, amazing, and leaving your insecurities and inabilities to be tested, then rested while you have real talk with soy. It is the show where you can always come in and unapologetically be you, be you, be you. Happy Saturday, folks, and it's good to be here. I'm telling you, it's good to be seen, right? It's good to be seen. So happy Saturday, and thanks for chiming in with me. I'm going to bring you something good, something hot, something needed. So go ahead and start sharing those links now, sharing those links now. And I don't want y'all to be shy this morning about your credit issues. We've all been there. And regardless of whether your score is 425, 525, 625, 725, you can always use a come up. So get your questions ready. Go ahead and tag a friend, bring them in so we can be victorious in getting our credit scores lifted so we can get those yeses, yeses, yeses that we are so deserving of. I want to say happy birthday to all of those people who are celebrating their birthday. I think it's quite a bummer to be celebrating your birthday right around the time where it is Valentine's Day. So hopefully your mate, your spouse is going to give you two gifts, right? Or they're going to just blow it, just bring it all together and give you one big gift. But happy birthday and happy Valentine's Day to those who are celebrating love. Now, you don't have to have a loved one to celebrate Valentine's Day. You can celebrate love with yourself. Do those self loving things, self motivating things that make you feel valued. And sometimes, sometimes we treat ourselves better than our mate can or would have. So don't be afraid to love on yourself. Go do something special for yourself, something safe and something wonderful. All right, all right. Before we get into our topic, let me see if I have any other announcements to make. Uh, I want to say a special prayer. Yesterday, I got notified that a dear friend, close relatives, were ill and have been hospitalized. And so I just want to pray for them and also just to extend prayers to anyone out there dealing with any medical issues, especially due to this COVID pandemic. So I'm praying that people come through it. So y'all love on our folks that are going through it right now and give them, let's take care of them. Whether you got to take them some food or help around the house, help with transportation, but let's continue to support each other because it could be you. It could be you. And I'm learning more and more that, being exposed to COVID is not really about negligence. There's so much unknown stuff out there. But let's be careful. Let's take care of one another, right? You got to mask up and keep those hands clean as often as you can. All right, all right. All right, I'm ready to get into this credit conversation now. I'm ready to get into this credit conversation because I have some of my own. So, as you know, the person that I have bringing into on the studio with me today is a familiar friend. I mean, she's been on the show quite a few times. She's like family now. She's like one of our coffee talk extended relatives. She's family because she's been here before. And the reason why I keep bringing her to y'all because she has so much knowledge, so much information that we can pull on, right? We can pull on it. And I want you to do that. And I want you to welcome this amazing woman, Shamika Saves. That's who she is. Shamika Saves, Save with a dollar sign. She is the owner and operator and CEO of Diversified Services of Florida. Diversified Services of Florida. She's been in the game about 10 years, and her business services offer a host of information and services related to credit, finance, and taxes. Right? Get your money right with Shamika Saves. What's up, Chica? Welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm fine. Good morning. Good morning to your listeners. I hope everybody is having a blessed and happy Saturday before Valentine's. So hope y'all enjoy y'all weekend and thank you for having me here. I appreciate it. I really do.
All right. I appreciate you with your busy self hanging out with me. Right?
Yes. Yes. So we talking credit. Let's talk credit.
Let's talk credit. Let's get these numbers up. Let's get these numbers up. Right?
Right, absolutely. So if your listeners don't already know, if you don't have credit, you don't have anything. Everything is going towards credit. Everything is credit related. You can't even live comfortable or even spend your check um, wisely if your credit isn't straight because everything costs so much, especially if your credit isn't looking right. So I stress that all the time with everybody. We got to make sure that we are in the green and not the red when it comes to our credit score. And so I'm going to drop a couple of tips that you guys can look to do. And these are things you can do yourself. You do not have to hire anybody to do these things. And these will improve your score. These are just basic things we're going to go over, but they will improve your score. Absolutely. So you ready for me to just go in or what?
Go in. Go ahead. Tip
Okay.
number one. Okay.
All right. So number one, and I'm just going to be basing this off of Credit Karma's credit reports. Majority of the people have that app on their phone. So if you were to look at your Credit Karma credit reports, you can follow along. But this is pretty much the same format as all credit reports. So the main thing that you want to make sure that you have okay or right on your credit report is your name. If you have different spellings or variants of how they spell your name, whether they have a middle initial in some of them and some they have no middle initial, or especially if you're African American, you got a name like me, Shamika, sometimes somebody gonna misspell it. Those things count against you, and they also make you more I won't say eligible, but people who have a lot of misspellings to their name usually are people who can get caught up in identity theft very easily. Why? Because the creditors or these credit bureaus, they don't know what the real spelling of your name is. They're not going and pulling out a birth certificate or a social security card. So if somebody tries to commit fraud and they spell your name differently, what is the credit bureau to do? They're going to go along with whatever they see because you have misspellings of your name. So that could possibly be you. So we want to make sure that our name is correct. You do not have to send in anything other than a letter, or you can dispute online to remove the different spellings of your name. That's number one.
Okay.
Um, Number two, jobs, your employment. Um, Banks don't like to see that you have 15 prior jobs. If you have a lot of past employment, that means you are high risk. That means you move around a lot, and they don't like it. So we want to keep our employment no more than one or two positions, and we don't have to have things like McDonald's. We don't have to have companies that we work at. You can put a position. A lot of people don't know that. You don't have to have where you work at because the bank doesn't know such and such home care or such and such home health agency. They don't know. But you can put nursing. You can change McDonald's to customer service representative. Make yourself sound like you're somebody versus having your credit report just mention where you work. It shouldn't be where you work. It should be what you do. Um, it makes you look more marketable. It makes a bank want to lend you money. So those are a few things we can do. So instead of your employment or where you work at, try to list your position.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Mika, someone has a question, and
Yes.
the question was um, two questions.
Okay.
One is, how do you go about removing your employer from your credit report? And then the other question was, if your position is not on your credit report, how do you get it there?
Simple. All you got to do is write a letter. You can do it on an old school lined piece of paper like you did when you were in college or high school. And you're just going to say, to whom it may concern, I would like to update or delete. and you mention, and once you put update or delete, you got to put what you want to remove, and then the next line you put, I would like to replace it with, and then you put what you want to replace it with. Now, when you do this, the credit bureaus require two forms of identification. So that means you do have to send in your license, um, and social security card. Now, if you don't have those, you can use a birth certificate, you can use a passport, but those are the only items they allow you to turn in to verify who you are. But you could just do that on a simple sheet of paper and turn it in, and they will correct it.
Okay, good stuff. All right. So
Okay.
we got the name spelling, we got the jobs, and then what's the next tip?
Okay. So after you names fixed, after you got the jobs fixed, now let's take a look over your credit. And the one thing you need to take a look at is, what is your utilization? And when I say utilization, that means how much of your credit are you using? Every um every credit card you have has a certain amount of utilization. If I have $100 limit on my credit card, and I use $30, that's 30%. Now, the rule of thumb is you always want to be 30% or less. I always like to say 25%. So if you have $100 limit credit card, you should be charging no more than $25 a month. You only want to do that because you do need to show some usage. They can't give you good credit if you don't have, or if you're not using your credit. I know a lot of people like to believe that, but it's not true. It's actually the opposite way. These banks want you to use their money. Why? Because they want to make some money off of you. But what we need to do as consumers is we have to be smart and be good stewards of our credit and our money, so that yes, we can pay some of this interest, but we're not going to pay a lot. So we want to make sure that we are always 30% in our utilization on each credit card, but also overall. So there's two types of utilization. There's your utilization per credit card or per charge card, whatever you want to call it. But
Mhm.
then there's also the utilization of your overall credit when it's all added together. So if you have 10 credit cards and you have no usage on them, then you're at 0% usage for the card, and you're at 0% utilization overall. But if you start to use them, those numbers start making different amounts. So the rule of thumb is 30, no more than 30% individually, and no more than 30% total.
Okay, got it. All right,
Anybody
y'all.
ask any questions?
Okay, okay.
Yep. Okay. So after we've taken care of these things, so that means your names are spelled right. You got your position, not your job on there. You've paid down some of your bills because you want to show that you're being responsible. Please know that it's very easy for banks to be able to tell a lot about you from your credit. And if you want them to
Mhm.
think that you're responsible, you have to have responsible credit. If you are a person that you have all of your cards high to the limit, almost to the max, over 30%, the bank is saying you are a high risk. So the one thing you want to make sure that you do is, if you're going to use your credit cards, because of course that's what you got them for, we want to use them responsibly so that we can show them that we're low risk. Low risk means, instead of me putting all my charges on my Discover card, I might spread them out a little bit. I'm gonna put 25 on this one. I'm gonna put a little bit over here, only because we want to spread that debt out so that we look more responsible than I'm just one person who charges everything on one card. Okay,
Mhm. Mhm.
so always keep that in mind. Then your next thing, I'm gonna skip past the car loans and the credit cards. Let's talk about student loans really quick. If you haven't paid your student loans, if they are in the red, meaning you're behind, please use this time to get on a payment plan. There's no interest due, there's no payments due until September. So you have no reason why you can't get on the phone with your loan servicer and ask them for an option to consolidate your student loans into one loan. And you can get on payment plans now where you don't have to pay any money for the whole year. I have a lot of people I know are paying zero for the whole year. because you have to recertify every year. It's based off of your income and how many dependents. They got a bunch of different type of programs. But if you are in the red with your student loans, you have no reason to be, because you can get that fixed. Okay. Once you consolidate those student loans, you can then dispute those individual loans to try to get them to, not to try, to get them to update. All right. So a lot of times with student loans, the Department of Education only reports when you first get your disbursement from student loans, and then they report again when you're late. You don't usually see that they keep up every month reporting that you're on time. A lot of times they don't constantly report. So it's up to you to contact. You can contact your student loan servicer and say, "Hey, y'all need to update my repayment, my payments. They're not showing. They're not reflecting on my credit report." Do that and dispute with the credit bureaus. Hit them double to get
Okay.
those student loans in the green.
Question for you, Tamika, from
Yes.
YouTube. YouTube question: is an American Express better than Visa or MasterCard?
Um, so there is no such thing as better, but there is a such thing as a more reputable company and companies that will give you larger limits. So I love American Express because they are big on relationships. Okay. American
Mhm.
Express has a ton, over 500 different types of credit cards. Okay. And if you are responsible, remember, look at yourself as low risk and high risk. If you are responsible, meaning that you're low risk, you can take American Express and continue getting more American Express. You can get business credit. And guess what? If you have a personal relationship with them from your personal credit, they will extend you credit on the business side. Um, Visa and MasterCard are, they have way more uh, cards available so that you can get, because they are larger. But American Express is, to me, I think they're the one that they focus more on relationships than Visa and MasterCard. And American Express does give you much higher limits than those Visa and MasterCard. So there isn't really a better. I think it has everything to do with what your goal is and what you're trying to get.
Okay. Another question coming up. Another question:
Okay.
does paying your utilities and insurance on time counts toward credit?
You know what's so unfortunate is that it does not, but they're trying to start that. So, um, although utilities and cell phone bills and all of those things get reported if you miss them, they don't get reported if you pay them. Now, you can
Um,
have them report if you use Experian Boost. Experian Boost, and that's on the personal side. Right now, that is the only company that is taking your payments and trying to give you credit for it. Now, the downside about that is Experian Boost is only good for Experian. So you don't see it show up on TransUnion or Equifax.
okay.
Now, if you're trying to build business credit, that they do show. Business credit does show that you're paying your cell phone and all of that. They have different companies. I'll give you a company called it's called eCredible. The letter E and Credible, CREDABLE. You can link your accounts with eCredible, and they actually take your information and they put it on your business credit to show that you've been paying.
Awesome. I told y'all she'd be firing them down. Good, good, good,
And
good.
you know what? And one more thing I forgot to add about that.
Okay.
If you have even if you haven't started business credit, here's something that you can do that you might not have known. If you want your cell phone or your electric bill to report, I changed my electric bill, my cell phone. I put all of that in my business name.
Okay. All right. All right, Shamika shared that we should take our utilities, y'all. We should take our utilities and put them in our business name. And we're going to have more information on credit tips. We got plenty of questions coming up right now. So let's take a quick break to drop these ads, and we'll be right back.
Have you heard sponsorships are requested? Coffee Talk with Soy is looking for dynamic entrepreneurs like yourself. If you're motivated, energetic with a message or product, consider advertising with us. It's a win-win. For more information on those advertising and sponsorship packages, visit the website Coffee Talk with Soy or call me at 515 I Got Soy. And again, that's 515 I Got Soy.
All right, y'all. Thanks for that ad plug.
Hey, I'm
And
back.
do remember that we are marketing and taking offers for ads on the show. So if you have flyers or infomercials, or you need assistance with flyers and infomercials, let me know. I got a nice hookup for you that can take care of you to help promote your business or service. All right, so we're back, and Tamika's going to go ahead and finish explaining to us why she thinks it's important to put your utilities in your business name.
That.
Shamika?
Yes, I apologize about that. Yeah, so your name
Go ahead, Nika, we can hear you
your business
fine.
name actually will report the business credit if you don't have business. Can you hear me?
We hear you fine.
Can Oh, okay. Yeah. So I just wanted. So a lot of people don't know that, but you can go ahead and put in your business name and start to get credit before you even start building your business credit.
Now, when
Okay.
you do that, when a person does that, when they put their when they call their utility companies and put in their business name, is there any documentation that's needed? Do they got to verify that they have a business before that they would make those adjustments?
So with the cell phone company, I actually had to bring in proof, and all I did was show my paperwork from the Secretary of State and my EIN number. As far as the electric company, I believe they looked me up on their own. So if they ask you to prove, you will have to give them your name so they can look you up in the Secretary of State, and they probably are going to want your EIN number to verify you're a business.
Doing that, what's the advantage for the business? Why do that?
Well, it's a couple tricks. So say we have a hurricane. Okay, I live here in Florida, so we have hurricanes, right? If there was an issue with the power going out, if you notice, businesses always get their power turned on first. So my residential address actually is listed as a business, which gives me the ability to get taken care of before my neighbors because I have business. My cable is also in my business name. Every utility that I have is in my business name. For one, because I want them to report to business credit, but also for two, it gives me I'd say not the upper hand, but I get in before everybody else because I have a business address, not a residential. Although I live in a home, it's listed as a business, not a residential address.
Mm,
So,
okay. Okay, one more question and then we can
mhm.
move on.
Okay.
Another question we have here is there still a 10-year plan forgiveness for student loans?
The 10-year plan is the public servants loan forgiveness program. They have that. That's for individuals who are individuals who work for the federal government, state government, librarians, police officers, firefighters, anyone in a public service servants position. They have not done away with that. Um, but the standard student loan is to be paid off in 10 years. The only time it gets extended past that is if you do some type of consolidation or something like that. The student loans are already listed to be paid off in 10, but a lot of us can't afford that payment. So we go and get on a payment plan and then they extend you to 25 years. So
Okay.
you can do public loan forgiveness, but you can also do um, uh, well, actually, that's probably the only one. They got a couple other programs, but they're all going to be when you call your servicer to see the different options they have to pay off.
Okay. And that does apply to teachers, right?
Yes.
Teachers, okay. Teachers, educators,
Yep.
It also applies to people in the political. I think if you're in politics or community
Yes.
service, volunteering.
Yep. Yep. But
Okay.
I'll say this, that what a lot of people don't know. So a lot of people think, oh, well, I'm going to do the 10-year forgiveness. That's great. But what they don't tell you, and I say they, meaning the people who put these programs out, because they want you not to really use them. Okay. You have to make sure that if you're going to use the public service loan forgiveness program or any loan forgiveness program, every year you have to have a form signed by somebody in your HR to prove that you've been working at that position in public service for the prior 12 months. So at the end of 10 years, when you go to ask for forgiveness, not only do you have to apply for it, you also have to show 10 forms that somebody in your HR department has filled out for every year up until you reach your 10 years to show that you've been in that position. So not only do you need to make your payments, you need to be getting somebody in HR to verify you've been in that job. Because if you don't, you're going to have a problem, because that's a part of the process.
Okay. Okay. Um, Look, I'm writing this down for me. I have a question from what's this? YouTube, Facebook. What about if you have been employed as a teacher for 12 years and you're just learning about the forgiveness program?
Um, so what you have to do is you have to go back to the time it was enacted, and it was enacted during Obama's administration. You have to find out when it was first enacted, then um, count backwards. If it's still been 10 years from the time it was enacted until now, then you need to put in your application, but you also need to get those forms again. There is a one-page form that your HR person has to fill out annually. So if you are going to do that, you need to make sure you go back to that person and that HR person and have them fill out to show that you've been in that job for 10 years before you put in your application. Another thing I wanted to mention that a lot of people don't know, and I'm mentioning this because I just mentioned this on my live, is they are doing a lot of discharging of loans because a lot of people went to schools that lost their accreditation. So if you went to a school that lost their accreditation, any school that falls under Corinthian colleges, that's Everest. A lot of people went to Everest. So if you went to places like Everest or stuff like that, then you need to look at putting in your discharge paperwork so that you don't have to pay those loans. They are wiping out portions of individuals' loans because they are a part of a school that lost its accreditation.
Oh, God.
So if you're one of those students that went to any school that falls under Corinthian College, and that's Everest,
Mm-hmm.
that's Wyeth University. Matter of fact, it's even ITT Tech. If you went to any of those, I think it's DeVry, not ITT. Even if you went to DeVry, those schools, they lost their accreditation. So you can get a portion of your student loans discharged if you went to one of those schools. So make sure you're looking it up, because a lot of people don't know that they're paying for loans they shouldn't.
Oh, yeah. And they won't stop you, right? You'll just
Oh
continue.
no, they're definitely not gonna tell you. Definitely not gonna tell you that you are due to get your money back. Not at all.
Okay. Here's the question. Other than the loan forgiveness, is there any other way that we can get out of paying student loans?
Is there any other way to do what?
To avoid paying student loans?
You can avoid paying them, just don't pay them. Look, I'm gonna tell you, you cannot pay them. You can even have people remove them from your credit report if that's what you choose. But I'm gonna tell you this: I had a girl. She got all of her student loans removed. Her credit score was 750, and she went to the bank to get a loan. And as soon as they went into the Kyver system, they saw that she still had student loans. And guess what they told her? Denied. So I'm gonna tell you guys, unfortunately, unless Joe Biden gives us the $10,000 off, which I don't see it happening just yet, we're gonna be stuck with these student loans. So the goal is to find a way to pay them, to find a way to discharge them, or you can get them deleted, but you won't be able to get anything after that. If you are disabled, if you are a veteran and you have 100%, you can get them wiped off 100%. All you have to do is turn your disability paperwork into the Department of Education, and they will wipe your loans to zero and delete them from your credit report. But that's only for individuals who are disabled, total and permanent. So 100% disabled veterans, and also individuals who get Social Security disability. They should not be paying loans.
Okay.
Come on.
All right. Now, is there a list of, is there a place where a person can go and find a list of those schools that lost accreditation?
Yeah,
Is it,
I'll send them. I'll send it to you
okay.
if you want.
Okay.
But I know the website is studentaid.gov, and you can go there. But the program is called a student loan hardship.
Okay.
So if you're looking for and that's for individuals who should not have to pay, but that's the student loan hardship program, and they will wipe off those loans for you.
And I want to say, I want to just chime in there and say that if you have a student loan, studentaid.gov is a great place. If you have a student loan, you should have an account on there because that way you can manage and monitor your account and see what's going on with it. I created an account there recently. I think it's the best thing because, as you know, student loans are very complicated, especially if you've had a loan for a long time. They get transferred, someone else buys it, and then they're calling you about it. And you thought you had a forbearance, or you were in a program with another loan, and it can be very confusing. I promise you that studentaid.gov allows you to see all of your loans, regardless of what year it was, what school you were in, and you can kind of see it and manage it there. I recently created an account there, y'all, and I'm telling you, it was like, hallelujah. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, no, wait. So yeah, I had a loan that I thought was included because I did I consolidate them and it was just one hanging out there, and I got a call that it was about to go into default. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, it should be grouped with these others, and so I created that account, and and then I got it taken care of. So it does happen when you have a lot of loans and it's been a long time. So
yes, we have to be proactive.
Studentaid.gov.
Yeah, studentaid.gov. That's gonna be, and too, if you get lost, you don't understand something, you can't get, you lost your ID, you can always call. The representatives there are nice and they help you. So yes, they want their money. So believe me, they're gonna help you out to make sure you see exactly how much you owe. But I'll tell you something. A lot of people say that they hate student loans. I think student loans are the best way to get money because you can't get $150,000 from the government and pay back no more than 8.25 in interest, because that's the highest student loans go. It's either 8.25 or 8.75. But you can borrow up to 150K. That's you can't beat that. So so people keep saying they struggling, they need to get on their feet. Go and enroll in an online school that takes a student that takes financial aid and student loan, and use that money wisely to get on your feet.
There you go. Questions. If I have $200,000 in student loans, would that prevent me from getting a business loan and my loans are current?
It doesn't hurt you to get a business loan. It actually can help. You got to look at it. The student loans, that's Uncle Sam. If Uncle Sam is going to loan you some money, he only wants to loan you money, or actually I say this, creditors love three things: student loans, mortgage loans, and business loans. So, and why? Because those loans that they give you mean that you have a chance to be something more than poor and always depending on the system to give you something. I hate to say it like that, but we just keeping it real. So if you get a student loan, they love you because they thinking, oh, this person has the ability to get a job, which means they're going to be a great tax-paying citizen. If they got a mortgage, they got a mortgage. That's very hard for people to get. A lot of people don't get those. And then a business loan, obviously, if they give you a business loan, then good. That means this person should be generating money. So they like when you have those. The problem is your credit going to allow you to get it? You got to look at your debt to income ratio. It's a lot of things you need to look at. I will tell you, if you're going to get a business loan, don't get a personal loan. Use your actual business. Actually set your business up You can go through nav.com. They help you try to get loans. If you want to get a business loan, get a real one, not one of those that say business, but it's on your personal credit, because all that is to the bank is a personal loan.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, let's see if we have any more questions. And while I search for more questions, any more tips before we exit the show today? This has been great. This has been some good stuff. Mm-hmm. All right.
And so we can always look to open up a little group in Clubhouse or something. So if people have questions about credit, we can be in a place that we can actually talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
I actually love talking about credit, and this is the kind of stuff that keeps me going. And it's not just credit. It's really I love hacking life. And if I can help point y'all in a direction to look at stuff a little differently, or how you can use some of these government programs or whatever to get on your feet, then that's what I'm gonna do. So we might look at putting a clubhouse together for your members, so we can go in there and just talk.
Okay. All right. We'll keep that in mind, because there is a lot of opportunity out here.
Yep.
And most of the time we don't know that it exists, or we always think we don't qualify.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
We're not ready. I got to do this. So as soon as I do this, I'm going to qualify. As soon as I do this, I'm going to apply. And a lot of times we have what we need, and we're afraid to try.
Yep.
Let fear keep us in certain places.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So any more questions? And I know I didn't even get through the rest of the credit report. That's just how much fun credit is. I just got to briskly go over stuff. We didn't talk about collections, the auto loans, repos, charge-offs. We didn't even get to the meat. We was just on greens.
Ooh.
We was on the greens and dinner roll.
Well, let's give them 2 more minutes of some nuggets.
Okay.
What you got?
All right, real quick. If you got collections, okay, a lot of us got collections. Know this. One, you can still get a home with collections on your credit report. They just need to be medical bills. The bank will let you get a house with medical bills. They will not let you get it with the utilities, cell phone, any of those other collections. So you make sure that if you're trying to buy a house, you need to see what type of collection those are. If you are trying to clean your credit, you might notice you're going to get emails, phone calls, the whole nine. One thing to look at is when you talk to these people and you find out they're from the collection agency, don't make any payment arrangements unless you are going to pay it in full, or you're going to pay it according to the agreement. Because if you don't, all you're doing is starting the clock back over, and that debt is now going to sit on your credit for even longer. So don't start until you're really ready to complete, because it will catch up with you. They don't tell you that either. That's in that small fine print. So I usually tell my customers that, hey, if you're trying to settle, call, find out how much it is to settle. And once they tell you, hang up the phone. Don't make no agreement. Don't talk to them, because you don't want to start that clock over. Repos. Just know this. A repo is a repo, even if you gave the car back. A lot of people say, well, I gave it back. That doesn't matter. Voluntary or involuntary, it is still a repo. Very difficult to remove, but there is a new trick that's going around that I actually tried last week. That actually I looked and checked my customers' credit today, and everything was gone. Now I can't say this is gonna stay off, but it did come off. And like I said, that's why we need to go in that clubhouse so I can explain that to everybody how it did it, because now I'm gonna go do it to all of my customers so they can love me and be happy that we got these things removed. So credit is a journey, but it definitely is something that could be done in less than a year's time. Everybody can have 800 credit. Absolutely. Bankruptcy included. Okay.
Okay. All right. I love the clubhouse idea.
Yep.
I love the clubhouse idea. So we're gonna talk about that and figure out how we can transition, and I'll post it.
Okay.
And, and if you have any other questions, y'all, you can keep the conversation going on whatever social media channel you're watching, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, or even on the website. So don't forget to visit the website with more questions about credit. More questions for Shamika.
Yep.
She hangs out with us monthly, and she'll be back next month as well.
Yep.
But until then, if you have questions, you can always post them on the site or reach out to me, and I will get you her contact information.
Absolutely.
She has a show herself that she does on Monday where she talks about a variety of things. So you drop your plug real quick.
Yes. So you guys and Facebook as Shamika Saves. I go live every Monday at 7. Not just talking credit, we're talking the stimulus, we're talking unemployment. Pretty much any question you have. If I don't have an answer, I bet you I know where I can go and get it. Um, I'm a ball of resources, and my job is to help you. So exploit my talent and come on and get this good old info. Okay, so join me 7 p.m. on Mondays, and let me school you on a little something, something. Okay.
All right. Thank you, dear.
Right.
I appreciate
No
you.
problem.
Always appreciate you. Always
Thank
appreciate
you.
you.
All righty. Thank you.
Awesome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for hanging out with me. All right, y'all. So I want you to visit the website, coffeetalkwithsoy.com. Drop your comments there. Um, I'm always looking for guests. So if you are a person with a talent or a service or something to share, reach out to me so I can get you scheduled to come out and hang out with me in the cafe so we can drop some nuggets on some good people. All right. That's going to wrap up our
I just love this show, Coffee Talk with Soy. That is your new morning show where real talk happens every Saturday at 10 a.m. I'd like to thank the listeners and the guests for joining me in the cafe today. What a wonderful time we had. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Don't forget to download the app Coffee Talk with Soy from your app store. It's available on iTunes and Google Play. Stay connected, folks, by visiting the website coffeetalkwithsoy.com, as well as looking for us under your social media sites. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram under the name Coffee Talk with Soy. Remember, the size of the problem is never the issue. Remember, it's the size of you. Be great because you are awesome. Tell them Soy said so. Thanks for listening. Have a great week. Bye-bye.